tweet has come in from Alicia101. 13 years later, what does Hunt now have to say about his thesis, a tax to make the polluter pay?
Well, it's actually 23 years later, and I'm very proud of what was written then because it was about trade-waste systems, and it was about the point that you've got to choose the right economic instrument for the right problem. And the problem with, as Nobel laureates have said...
Which was the polluter in the polluter here?
This was about trade waste, so things such as zinc, cadmium, lead, where if you have a local problem, you can solve it locally. If, however, you have a problem with an inelastic good or an essential service, such as electricity, what you see is that you can drive up the price and it has very little effect. Those figures you gave were incorrect because
quick question for you, based on
view,
the philosophy of that idea that you just put forward, is do you agree that CO2 is a pollutant?
Well, I believe it has an impact on our atmosphere. If you call it a pollutant, if you call it a source of impact, it's a source of climate change, and climate change is a problem. The real point at the end of all of this is if you want to do something about CO2 and climate change, you wouldn't put in place a carbon tax because in Europe,
to big business.
In Europe, it hasn't done the job. In the United States, we've actually had a decrease in emissions because of the change in technology, which has been a tremendously important thing. And in Australia, our emissions go up, not down.
Companies don't change their technology unless you put an incentive in place for them to do it by pricing pollution. We price pollution. You don't dump your garbage in the street for free.
It's not pricing pollution, it's increasing the cost of electricity.
OK, hold on. We're almost out of time. Last question is on this subject.